Hey guys, welcome to another Iron Mike's FIA GT Sports stream. This is the Nations Cup at Tokyo. As you see on screen, there's one DRA driver. Majority of the people are Bs, Cs and Ds as well. That's mainly because my driver rating has dropped quite a bit lately, and that's why I titled this stream End of an Era. I've decided to try and stop doing any more last to whatever races. I've had a few internet dropouts that have caused my driver rating to drop quite a bit, but also some of the results I've had haven't been the best, and it's caused me to drop into Group C, which is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So this is intending to be my last non-qualifying race. So out of respect for all the efforts that I've done and the fun, I put my hazard lights on before going out one last time to not qualify. So I won't be qualifying again in this stream, but it's the last. Again, there might be others in the future, but maybe a long time in the future. So after not qualifying, I actually ended up 15th out of 19. The other guys, C's and D's, they probably did try but got penalties, and because their DRs are lower than me, they probably got put behind me. So as hard as I try to start last, I can't even achieve that. Let's let this music finish. So the lineup. During the week as I was practicing, I actually found and most other people probably would, the Dodge SRT Tomahawk. This car seems to be the favourite car for the race, but it's just good to see there are different types of cars. It's not just the one make. I did try the Tomahawk, and it was my fastest time trial lap of 1:40, I think, but I just wasn't 100% comfortable with it. I preferred a hybrid car that just has massive acceleration out of corners. So someone's close behind you, you go around a corner and you just race away. Of course they're going to catch up, but then the next corner comes, and so that's why I chose the Porsche hybrid car for two reasons: because of the hybrid part of it and it racing off fast, but also tyre wear was pretty good, and probably most cars here fuel consumption. So there's me in the Porsche, but I just found the Porsche to stand out for me, for my driving style, for my liking. So again, a number of C drivers and D drivers, and it's gonna show. It's gonna show in this race. And if anyone's an A driver or a B driver, when you drop, and I'm sure most people have experienced that at some point, when you drop down a group, you do see a massive difference in driving style and sportsmanship. So anyway, off we go. So here goes the hybrid. Bang, already one car gone. But top end speed isn't the best, it's the acceleration that's the strength. So starting off in 15th, I'm into 14th. Actually, you tend to get a bit caught up with other cars on the startup. You know, normally you know your pace, you know your brake point, you know where to take a corner, but for some reason when a race starts, you just forget all that and go for it. So the cars in the mirror, so far behind, and yet they fail to brake on the corner. And so for that time, down to 16th, I have a blown engine and forced another car off the track 4 seconds. And I'm not paying that penalty now, it's next lap. So I've got 4 seconds to look forward to, and a blown engine. And that's all Group C and Group D people behind me. Just couldn't believe it. Always being mindful of when I'm in people's slipstream. To just break a touch earlier again. There's that Nismo on the side there. Really fast car, but not suitable on this track. Starts to gather up momentum and then a corner. And that Nismo handles like a tank. So that was from position 16 down to 12 on that last corner. And then just slowly making my way past other people. And as much as I have a 4 second penalty, I found the other thing is people with their penalties. So many people tapping walls and getting a 1.5 second penalty, or just hitting someone, and the amount of time you lose, it's incredible. I kept thinking there was like 2 penalty points in this race, but there's only the one which is coming up now. And so I'm thinking, oh, I'll race through these people. Oh, hang on, I've got 4 seconds. That's right, from that penalty I got like 30 minutes ago. So now I'm back to clear, my engine's good, my penalties are gone, I can get into some racing. Not a huge fan of the Tokyo tracks, mainly because there's just walls either side. Not a huge fan, like in Formula 1 in Malaysia, with the walls. The tiniest mistake and bang. Whereas maybe Silverstone or Interlagos has run-off points. So it's a bit more forgiving. This is quite unforgiving. And this next corner I hate because the walls blend in with the road and it's hard to tell where the corner is. Big old Fitzy gave me a bit of grief during the race. Don't know if it was intentional, but watched the rest of his race. I'm guessing he's a D driver. Just a little bit reckless. Anyway, braking on the 150 point there. Down a second, make sure not to spin out the wheels, putting it to third. And then gradually put the gas on. Ooh, it can get quite messy. So you can see there, big old Fitzy's got a 1.5 second penalty. This race is just penalties galore. Every time you come up to a braking point like this, you're always worried about people behind you. So that's blown engine number 2. From people who, I don't know if they're trying to use people as brakes or they're just brain dead. I have no idea. Oh, and on that note, sorry, as you can see, I'm using racing hards for the first part of the race, and that will go to about lap 6, I think. Well, that was the intention. I think I went a bit further. Anyway, and the reason why, yeah, it did go a touch further, and I think the reason for that was, I thought, well, I'll see how the hards go. Not that I want to push them further. I want to get onto medium tyres as quick as I can. But I just felt like the pace of this race was actually quite fast, and the tyre wear, with all the loonies on the track, the tyre wear was going to be quite high. So I held off putting the mediums on when I intended, which was, it was either going to be lap 5 or lap 6, and I think I pushed it out to lap 8 or 9. At some point I want to talk about this tunnel. So far, lap 4, doing okay considering what I've been through. In lap 12, position 12, or now 13. Look at the acceleration here. Boom, gone. And catching up, so back in the position 12. Yeah, considering I've had 2 blown engines and a 4-second penalty. And you always think, you know, if I can keep it clean, I'll do really well, but it's so difficult to keep a race clean when you're surrounded by, and what is that, 3 seconds? 3-second penalty for him. Yeah, it's hard to keep a clean race when you've got erratic people around you, especially when they're just flying up behind you and smashing into you. 4.5 seconds. That's insane. So obviously, you know, when this guy hits the penalty line, you're just going to fly straight through him. Now it's time to catch up to position 10, which again is big old Fitzy. The tunnel, keep meaning to talk about it. Next lap, remind me. Talk about the tunnel. Now there's the driver in position 13, Unknown Alien. I know that guy. I don't know him personally, but he's a PlayStation friend. Obviously we've crossed paths in the past. And he started, can't remember, but he started in the top 5. But he, as well, copped a few knocks lap 1. And as you get knocked back a bit, then other people are knocking you, and he just fell to the back. So he's trying his hardest to catch up. Every time he'd be behind me or in front of me, I knew I could trust the guy. You know, he's the one person on this track, well maybe there were 2 or 3 others, but he's one that I could, you know, say, yeah, no worries, he's not going to do anything silly. So good old Fitzy's got a 3-second penalty. So now it's a Matt kill, gee whiz. Oh, the tunnel. Guys, remind me. And this guy, this is another guy I'm talking about. It's not my mate, but he did comment at the end of the race. There were a few people myself included, that he said, you know, it's a great race. So obviously he's like-minded and just enjoys a really good race, keeps it clean. But he too has a penalty. I just wish this race was like the Red Bull Ring, where you had to use all three compounds to really mix it up. Now we've got NFI Wackawee. Oh, I thought he was the guy in the Peppa Pig car, but no. Ooh, that was close. So that Matt Kill, gee whiz, he's obviously now himself serving a penalty, and I've got Unknown Alien behind me. Now the tunnel, I just get the feeling that whoever built this was going through a point of depression. It's just so black and white. It's just no colour to it at all. I don't get it. It's funny, there's a certain grade of driver who must win at all costs, and reputation is nothing. So now I've got Camo 351 ahead, and he started up near the front, bang, he's got 1.5 second penalty, but he's slowly dropping back. My car number was car 16, so because my DR point's quite low, I'm ranked, you know, quite far down. So I was hoping to do quite well in this race. Not too well. I kind of wanted to do just average so I could have a good reason to do the race again. I was surprised to see a ranking of 16. Again, the tunnel of depression. So lap 8, position 7. I'm doing alright. I'm yet to pit. Oh, here we go. I'm pitting now. That's lap 8. Yeah. So from hards to medium, and no fuel. See all the scrapes on my car. And I've come out into clean air, so that's good. I haven't made any changes to my brake balance. I think my brake balance was set at +2 to the rear. Actually, I think I do move it. Pretty sure I do, because it's around here I start thinking, hang on, I'm on mediums, and they will wear a bit harder. So we might see me make an adjustment soon. Hopefully if I do make that adjustment, I do it on a straight, because in the past I used to just make adjustments whenever, and I'd find myself doing it on a corner. There we go. Yeah, 2 to 4. was a bit concerned the back end would slide out, being too biased to the rear, but it seemed to do alright. I just wanted to protect the fronts. So I'm just trying to recap now. So I was, I think, in 7th position, and then pitted, and then back to, I'm guessing, 12th. Look at the acceleration. And then he's probably going to get away from me. I was about to say, you know, on the straights he should be fast, but I hopefully will be in his slipstream to take advantage of that penalty. It'd be good to watch. I mean, there are some people in this replay that are horrendous for penalties. It'd be good to go back and count how much penalties they got. And I wouldn't bet you like people between 40 seconds to a minute of penalties. So 1.5 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot of momentum he's lost. And these corners are quite hard to see, you know, they're not real clear and defined. But at least at this point I did feel like I had a rhythm going. Big old Fitzy again, more penalties. So I'm on mediums now, and this is to the end of the race now, so just one pit stop, no fuel, just tyres. And you know, like I was saying before, in practice I found I could probably pit my hards at lap 5 or 6 and then finish the rest of the race, maybe 12 laps on medium. But that's on a track all on your own. You know, when you're having to deal with other people and take corners pretty hard, you're wearing tyres much quicker. So I thought, and I feel like I was right to just push those hards a little bit further. So again, I'm back with Matt Gee Whiz, who seems to appreciate a good race and is clean. He's someone I'd be comfortable, you know, in my rearview mirror, that he wouldn't just come in and ram like these guys. And that's why I was desperate to get out of Group C, because I just could not believe the mentality of those drivers. So in my mind, I was, you know, when someone hits you and you're not paying too much attention to the people around you, you know they're there, but who are they? And so in my mind, it was this guy who just hit me, because he's the one with the penalty. But because I wasn't 100% sure, I wasn't going to retaliate until I see the replay and have a look, and it actually wasn't this guy. I think it was good old Fitzy, because he did apologise at the end of the race. but watching his whole race, big old Fitzy, his driving in general wasn't the best, but at least he apologised. Now before the race, during practice, I actually thought on the straights is the best place to overtake, but it's actually people getting penalties. It's amazing how many people get penalties and just pulls them up. So I think for myself, I've only had that 4-second penalty for colliding with another vehicle. Yeah, right. So I didn't know, but it was this guy, big old Fitzy, who just slammed me. But then in the replay I see him slam me and then continue on. You know, he doesn't sort of back up and hazards on. He hits, continues on, and then says sorry later. And considering he knows he hit me, you would think he would see that I'm behind him and pull over and let me pass, but he's still up for a good old, you know, it's race on again. Each to their own, I guess. There's more people behind with penalty, so well, that's unknown alien. So the gap behind should be getting bigger. Now I don't know if it was big old Fitzy or someone else, but there was someone who was driving very erratically and getting a lot of penalties, and they're actually a pad user. And I'm not bagging pad users, but when you've got a track with walls and a super fast car, maybe it's not the best combination. You know, you're always rubbing those walls and high risk of getting penalties. Big old Fitzy's getting a bit loose. So back to 7th place. Look at the acceleration again. We're getting near the end of the race, and things within the... You can see the cars are spreading out. Things are obviously by now are settling down. So the hybrid has great acceleration, but I think he eventually... Yeah, look at that top end speed. Ooh, bit of a knock there. No harm done. But again, wouldn't you think if you've just punted someone into a corner, 2-3 laps later you'd be doing your best not to hit them again? You know, to make a point of keeping clear of them. You can see in this situation, it's a good example of the strengths of the top end speed cars and versus the hybrid cars. It's almost swapping positions, you know, on corners and then straights. At the moment, looks like they're in the tunnel of depression. It's generally like I've got the advantage, and it's probably tyres. See, I think here I get on the... Oh no, I don't get on the inside. But I was very wary. Now you watch this. I try and go on the inside with my... And he kind of just cuts me. And he gets a 3-second penalty. And I thought, oh no, he's gonna spit the dummy and cause a lot of trouble. I think there he loses it. 4.5 seconds in total penalties for him. Didn't feel so bad after the race when I saw the replay. If you're gonna say sorry to someone, mean it. You know, get out the way and stay clear. I don't care if the guy wants to battle with me, just give that position back, that's all I'm saying. Let's move on. So you saw before I put the brake balance to +4 to the rear, and you can still see now the fronts are wearing considerably more, mainly that front left. So had I left it on +2, I think the fronts would be almost dying. So for me, moving my brake balance to +4 and pushing the hard tyres, not lap 5 or lap 6, but pushing it up to lap 8, I think at the end of the day it's the right decision. I'm sure everyone else who's done this race would agree it's like walking a tightrope. You know, just one bit of movement in the wrong direction, or just going just a little bit too fast and you're off, hitting a wall. And honestly, I'd rather be going just a touch slower than normal than lap after lap getting penalties. So I'm just going through my settings now. So traction control still on 0. Don't know why I'm just sitting up there. Brake balance on 4. Fuel mix 1. Still got 5 laps to go, and we're on our second to last lap. And this is a strange track where the start finish line is in one part of the track and the pits are in the other. It's bizarre. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's bizarre. So, considering I started, what, 15th? And I've had 2 blown engines and a 4-second penalty. I think that was the only penalties for me. I think I've done okay. Better than what I was expecting. It was horrible at the back. Ridiculously horrible. A lot of those incidences for me are very unnecessary, but they happened. So coming 6th I thought was pretty good, to the point I thought that's considering how horrible the race was, that's as good as it will get for me. So I chose not to do the race again. So for today, this was my one and only race. And I've got unknown alien behind me. So I trust him, but I'm watching him. I'm watching his pace. I was prepared to give up my position if he was good enough to take it. But again, here the acceleration. I thought, no, you're not getting it. So I just want to make a point now. So 5th place is getting ready to cross the line. Ronald McDank. He crosses the line, but again, he's someone who didn't comply with tyre or compound choice, and so he gets a 20-second penalty. That promotes me to 5th. And there were a few other people below me that did the same. Big old Fitzy. Typical. So 5th place from 15th. It's pretty chuffed. Yeah, that's right. Up 10 places, 42 points, not the best, but from 15th to 5th, I was happy with that. Thanks for watching the stream, guys. Look forward to seeing your races, and next stream, surely I'll be qualifying properly. See you in the next one.